Hi, I'm Tim Masso, Director IW Magazine, and I'm here today with the Seiko Grand Seiko Spring Drive Diver's Watch 200 meter, reference SBGA031. This is an interesting debut from Baselworld 2012. Now, it does have a cousin, the SBGA29 in stainless steel, but titanium gives this watch a unique character, because at 44 millimeters across the round of the case and 53 from the outermost endpoint of the solid bracelet link to its opposite number, the watch is large, but with a titanium construction of case and bracelet, the watch wears light on the wrist. Now, for reference, my wrist is 6.3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, so use that information to judge as you will. I would say that because of the size of the watch, from solid end link to opposite solid end link, you can wear this on a tree trunk wrist with no sense of lacking proportion, but it's the smaller wrist that you should keep in mind. Because it is so light on the wrist with titanium, you could probably wear this watch comfortably and with great proportion, down to about 14.5 centimeters. So that's your frame of reference, 14.5 centimeters up. Now, the bracelet is a spectacular piece with contrasting finish, both satin and high polish. It nicely articulates the bracelet, differentiates the metal, and breaks up the monotony of just a solid base metal, solid titanium swath of alloy. Beautifully done. Again, it is hand finished, as is the case, which combines high polished titanium, a rarely seen treatment of the gray metal, with satin elements atop the lugs. Now, delving a little bit deeper into this bracelet and clasp combination, you can see that it is as distinctive as the spring drive movement itself. Over-engineered, it combines both a clamshell closure with triggers to release. So, given that the clasp is the only line of defense between your watch and a crash to the floor or even the seabed, it's reassuring that Seiko's gone a little bit beyond the norm with double closure and double locking. Now, there's more here, because the swing arm of the clasp is the only application of steel on this watch. The steel is used for the smaller swing arm elements to strengthen them. Again, over-engineered is the term. Now, you'll also note that there is a micro adjust here with over an inch or 25 millimeters of incremental adjustability. Now, if you please, you can press the little trigger and slide it in to take in excess slack during periods of inactivity or cold weather. Press the little triggers again, and you can slide it out to over an inch to fit it over a wetsuit, a dry suit, or simply a thick coat or sweater. Again, the excessive engineering, planning, and content of this clasp is perhaps more emblematic of Seiko than anything else on the watch. Although fans of the spring drive, in this case Seiko caliber 9R65, are going to think perhaps there's a little bit more inside the watch distinctive of the manufacturer than the clasp, but I'll let you be the judge. Now, the watch features a hard anodized bezel insert, and here's Seiko's logic here. Ceramic is supported at the price point of this watch, a little over $6,000 US, but ceramic also chips and can flake and can come completely detached in the case of severe impact, whereas the worst you're going to do to a hard anodized bezel is put a dent or a scratch in it. Plus, replacement's relatively cheap. So in terms of reliability and acknowledging the fact that dive bezels take a pounding, this one is durable and replaceable. It's also wonderful to use from a tactile and audible sense. The watch delivers. A bad diving bezel with indistinct detents or an excessively creamy action can often ruin a good dive watch, and I'm happy to say that Seiko delivers on both counts. It feels great, it sounds great, really complements the rest of the watch, and the watch features an unusual treatment on its dial. Matte finished, yet it is lacquer. Now, lacquer is more commonly considered to be the cousin of enamel because it has a wet, often deep, lustrous look. Very few companies use matte lacquer. Seiko being one, Glasuda Original of Germany being another. The look is effective here because it provides a nice canvas, a nice neutral backdrop for the high-polished indices and the cathedral-style hands at center. The hands are unique in that they're made of titanium and they have a satin finish, much like the hoods of the link on the bracelet. So the satin finish and the titanium construction actually mean that this dive watch dial rewards viewing with a loop. That's not something you can commonly say of utility watch dials, but again, the detailing is spectacular. A combination of gilt print with the Grand Seiko script applied, that is an applied GS down there, as is the Seiko signature at 12 o'clock. It also features a power reserve indicator, which is a logical, thoughtful, but uncommon feature on dive watches. Now, you do have to have a constant seconds indicator to comply with the ISO 6425 definition of a dive watch. You don't have to let the diver know how close the watch is to drop dead. I would want to know if my watch is beating its last few minutes right at the negative end of the scale, that I need to wind it up before a dive. Seiko apparently agrees, giving you a scale that shows you 3 phases: middle, highly wound, and depleted, as part of the 72-hour power reserve of the caliber. Now, the watch does feature conventional refinements, including hacking seconds. So when you pull the crown out, you do stop the march of the preternaturally smooth spring drive seconds hand, and it does feature a quick set date so you can rapidly correct it should the watch run down. Now, inside the movement, again, the 9R65, built entirely by Seiko, and their patented and exclusive spring drive system, the only one that produces a completely smooth seconds hand sweep with no notches or detents. It's a 30-jewel, 276-piece of very traditional watchmaking. It's built by a watchmaker by hand, and it's serviced the same way, but because it does energize a quartz oscillator by converting spring energy into electrical energy, it has the same kind of precision you would expect of a quartz watch. Plus or minus 1 second per day is outstanding, but again, it still has the romance of train wheels, springs, plates, bridges, screws, and jewels. Everything you expect of traditional mechanical watchmaking, except the imprecision. Very distinctive of Seiko, like the look of the watch, the design of the dial, and the construction of the clasp. A little bit offbeat, but formidable in every respect. Now, you can see more from Seiko's Grand Seiko line on our website, iwmagazine.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more watch reviews and showcases like this. I can promise you there are going to be far more, plus sound off in the comment box below. Let us know what you think or ask questions.